All right, Coach. You're really getting quite into this camp. I just had your second scrimmage the other day. Just kind of what are your major takeaways after 2 weeks here?
I thought we did a really good job overall, just limiting the penalties. We got 18, I believe, the first scrimmage, and we were 9 the other day, which, that's still too many for us, but you see that we got better in that area. The focus was that all week leading up to that scrimmage, so that was really good. And that scrimmage was more based on situational things. So we put the ball in some different places that you don't get just from a day-to-day practice situation. And we were able to see, some really good things from the low red zone. We got some guys down there that can finish plays and get us in the end zone. So I feel really good about that.
Tim, when you look at this next week or next 2 weeks, I guess when you wrap up camp, what is the focus really for you guys before you get ready for game preparation?
Well, right now, after 2 scrimmages, I think from a coaching staff standpoint, you got enough information to start kind of putting your pieces together. So the next 2 weeks will really focus on us being specific and what we want certain guys doing, who we want the quarterback throwing certain routes to and getting work in that area, what backs we want to rotate in certain personnel groupings. So those 2 scrimmages really gave us a lot of information when it came to that, and that'll be the focus now heading into week 1.
Coach Malzahn said you guys dealt with some injuries last week at center.
Mm-hmm.
What have you noticed with the depth behind Caden there?
It was really good. I think, just early on in training camp, the big thing is when those things do happen, it's unfortunate, but it's kind of a blessing in disguise because, you don't get through a full training camp without any of it. That would be the, perfect, best case scenario. But at the end of the day, we know during the course of a season, things happen. So for us to have to move some things around in training camp and get guys some work a little bit earlier than you normally would have to, it's good for us. And then what it does is make sure when you do get those guys those reps, it rests the guys up that did get banged up a little bit. So, we feel good about it. I like where we're at with the injured guys are getting themselves back out there. So we feel great about that and where we're going head forward.
For the first scrimmage, KJ and Dylan were not live. For the second, Riley wasn't live. What's the thought process that goes into who you're going to give reps to during those scrimmages?
Well, I think for us, the first scrimmage, you got guys like Jakari hadn't played a whole lot, outside of his bowl game last year. EJ coming out of high school, so you really didn't have enough evidence of those guys just being able to play. So we wanted to give them one scrimmage where they can get into the game and feel the game from all the different areas, running the ball, throwing the ball, feeling that pressure and knowing how to escape, when to escape. Riley, same thing, being a young guy. This next scrimmage, he was the only live guy, and the same thing for him, just giving him those reps of having to feel what that pressure feels like, and then allowing us to use some quarterback run game, which is a strength of his. So it's allowing him to play and feel the things he has to feel as a passer, but also allowing him to do something that he's really good at, which is run the ball, and doing it without the whistle being blown when he gets touched.
Looked like Miles Montgomery was sidelined during the open portion. What's his status going into the third scrimmage?
Coach will address that, but we feel like he'll be all right in a few days.
How's he done as far as adjusting to the scheme concept? You mentioned running more inside zone here compared to where he was.
I'll be honest, and Coach, we said this to our offense last night. We said it to our team. Right now, if you had to pick one guy on our offense who's been the epitome of, if you had to pick an MVP through these first 2 scrimmages, it would be Miles Montgomery. Everything that he does has been 100 miles an hour. His effort level and everything that he does, the little things, the details and how he works, how hard he runs, he finishes runs, breaks tackles. So he's done a really good job and put himself in a really good position. But if we had to pick one guy on offense that we feel brings it every single day, is Miles.
It's been another week. Has there been any wide receivers that have kind of distanced themselves since the last time we talked to you, or has it been kind of the same?
No, it's still the same. I think with that group, the competition is so close every day, and we added some guys that had experience at other places, but they played a lot of football. The competition in that room is just it's super competitive every single day. What it's done is made it where you have one guy that may play really good one day, and the next day somebody else takes that step. I will say, Kobe Hudson is a guy that over the last couple practices started to do things that we've been pushing him to do, make those contested catches on a consistent basis, be physical, finishing blocks. So he's done that. Javaris Johnson, he's put himself in position to show later in the week last week that he can make those downfield plays too. So it's constant movement from that group, and they're putting pressure on each other, and that's exactly how you want it.
Ja'Cory Brown, quarterback, kind of how is he looking and how is he maybe pushing those guys to challenge for that backup spot?
He's done a good job. Every day we're continuing to stay on him about all the little things, making sure he protects the ball. You got to do a really good job in that area. But like I told you guys last week, when he was live in that scrimmage, that best shows his game. We didn't have him live the other day, so I think it takes away from who he is. But we got to be smart about it. We don't want a guy like that to be live at every single scrimmage. So the one scrimmage where he got a chance for his game to really show, you saw exactly what you're getting. Now it's about just tying up all the loose ends with him, making sure that he understands the details in every part of our offense, and then just again making sure that we do a great job of protecting the ball.
Tim, you guys got to utilize the tablets in the scrimmage the other day.
Yep.
What was the benefit of it for you guys being able to kind of maybe get to see some of the plays right there immediately rather than having to wait and watch them later on?
Yeah, it's really good, for us, because a lot of times you have guys up in the booth and they're charting looks that we're getting. But, when the game moves so fast, sometimes you can be a little bit off. So what the tablets does is it cleans all that up. We know exactly what we're getting. We know exactly what we're seeing. And so from a coaching standpoint, the communication that we get from the press box down to the sideline, we know it's accurate information. And then those guys on the sideline being able to sit with our players between series and show them exactly what the looks are, to show them exactly how coverages are rolling, where they're rolling to. And, our players, there's no maybes in it. They're getting exactly what's happening. So it's really good for us. I think it's going to be really good for all offenses around the country.
You mentioned EJ getting the live reps in the first scrimmage. What have you seen from him? Obviously, he was supposed to start high school, his senior of high school last week.
So just that alone, him being here a whole year early, everything that we've seen from him is super impressive. He's a super impressive young man. Take the football stuff out of it. You see how he handles himself around the building. You're very impressed with him. But what you see when you get out there physically, he's a natural thrower, man. We throw against air. He don't miss very much. The ball is consistently exactly where it's supposed to be, and that's one of those things that stand out. With him, you look at him. People talk about his height and all that, but a guy like him who's won at a high level, at the high school level, and won very consistently, you still feel strongly about what they can achieve at this level when you watch him go out there and play and you watch how his teammates respond to him.
To this point in camp, what's something that has exceeded your expectations?
I think our depth at the tight end position, just, when you talk about, the skill of that group now. I think coming out of spring, we had probably two guys that we felt were skilled pass catchers and skilled receiver type guys, but as we going through the summer, a guy like Evan's done a really good job where we looked at him as more of an inline tight end when we left spring ball, but he's got an opportunity through the summer and through training camp to show that he can be a receiving threat. And I think him showing that he's developed in that way, adding him to Randy and Grant that we already had as guys that we felt really good in the receiver category, it makes that group very deep and it makes us very well rounded in what we can do with them.
Does that encourage you to maybe try to play more 12 throughout the course of the season?
Absolutely. That definitely will be something that we do a lot more of.
What's kind of something you really want to see improved on going into? We only have a couple more weeks until the first game. What's something that you want to continue to see a little bit more improvement on?
I want to see the consistency of our leadership across the offense. Our quarterback has done a good job in putting it, but I think from group to group, you want to see your leaders consistently lead and push you through those tough moments. Here, like just now, we just finished a practice out there. It got pretty hot once we get outside, and what you want to see is your leader push you through those tough times. And I want to see that consistently being done over these next couple of weeks heading to a game, because at the end of the day, when things get tough, when you get into November, December, that's what it's going to come down to. So I want to see our guys consistently taking ownership of that and being able to lead our young guys in the right direction.
Coach, you're going to be up in the box for the season?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so with the helmet communication, is that your responsibility? Are you the guy talking to the guy? Are you still working through those?
No, Coach Malzahn will talk to him.
Coach Malzahn's talking to the guys,
yep.
okay. And just out of curiosity with the tablets, has that kind of changed responsibilities in terms of GAs or analysts? Is there a guy that's kind of responsible for cutting it up and bringing it to you guys to kind of show you so you can kind of save your time?
Well, yeah, really upstairs, there's three of us upstairs. We, you always get to the season, you add more people, whatever. But the tablet thing, it's not a whole lot different responsibility-wise. The rules that are changing within college football with allowing everybody to coach, that's kind of making it even better for us. So we're not as, tied down into who can be on the headsets, who can't, and all that, because the rules now are opening up where everyone is kind of involved in coaching. So that's really good for us. I'm excited that happened.
that was going to be my question, was about adding more additional coaches and having those opportunities to have those guys around. What does that do for you guys to really be able to maybe, do you assign them a little bit more duties, or is it still the way it was before, but they can actually have a voice?
Yeah, that's what I would say more than anything. It's still the way that it was before, but it allows guys on the field to be a part of the coaching. Where before our off the field coaches, the GAs were able to, but our off the field, our analysts, they weren't able to actually coach the guys out there. They can help with sideline duties and all that, but now those guys have responsibilities where they can actually help coach. So it gives us more coaches on the field, and that makes us a lot more structured when we're practicing.
Does it ease a little bit of responsibility for you?
I wouldn't say that. I still got them to worry about too. But it's been good though. It's good having all those guys there. But don't ease responsibility at all.
Speaking about sharing responsibility with non-position coaches, you and Cam obviously shared some running back responsibilities when you were here last.
Right.
Now you're close to a season with him as a member of your fellow staff. What's that relationship like now?
Oh man, it's great. It's been, for me, the first year that we were here, having Cam, assist me with the backs then, it was good just getting to know him then. He was a young guy. He had just finished playing not long before that. So, having him in there to relate to the guys was really good. But just watching, 2 years have gone by, and just watching his development as a coach, I've been really impressed with him. And Cam has always been super impressive with just how he handles himself. He wasn't a young guy that was in trying to be friends with the players, because that's what you get sometimes when you hire young coaches. They want to befriend the players because they don't understand that discipline factor. But you don't get that with Cam. He's a straight up and down guy. He handles his business. His players have his respect every single day when he walks in the building. And he does a really good job of handling those guys through good and bad.
What do you still not know about this team at this point?
Well, that's a tough one because we just haven't played anybody else. I'll say that. Just how we respond when we face real adversity against someone else. And you won't really get that until you get to the season. But I think, we challenge our guys daily here and putting them in tough situations, and they've responded well. But at the end of the day, that's practice. And you want that to help prepare them to best handle that. But until you're really in that moment, in a real situation, you really don't know how they're going to respond. So we're trying our hardest to put them in all the toughest situations possible to make them feel as comfortable as possible when those things do come. But when they do, we'll know. So I'm looking forward to seeing that.
Coach, thank you.
Thank y'all.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, man.